For years, industrialized nations have had to manage a challenging trade-off: economic prosperity brought by manufacturing and production, and the environmental risk of industrial processes spewing smog and chemicals into the air. Over the last few decades, environmental regulations were put in place to help improve air quality. Now there's an additional threat to global air quality: climate change. Scientists are once again sounding the alarm about our too warm climate. Over the last 12 months, global warming surpassed 1.5 degrees Celsius, breaching a key goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement.
What people should probably take to heart more than individual records or a short streak of record temperatures is that 23 of the 24 warmest years on record have all occurred since 2001, with the last 10 years being the warmest 10 years on record.
A critical consequence of a hotter planet is heightened risk of wildfires and the subsequent worsening air quality. Across North America, wildfires are increasingly devastating, with ash and smoke traveling thousands of kilometers. Canada's wildfires last summer impacted the air quality in New York City, which was blanketed by a heavy haze of smoke. Chicago and Detroit recorded some of the worst air quality in the world when smoke from wildfires in Quebec moved south.
Wildfires have increased. They're more intense, they're happening more frequently, and we're picking up now that fine particulate matter, or that PM2.5, in the observation stations from the EPA, and we're seeing clearly this reversal of the trend of improving air quality over the last 50, 60, 70 years. We did a really good job of driving down those pollutants in the air. We're starting to see the reversal.
In the U.S., the state of Texas is currently battling the largest wildfire in its history, which has burned more than 1 million acres. Climate change is making heat waves more common. In Texas, for example, last summer was the state's hottest on record, regularly clocking temperatures of over 37 degrees Celsius. The smoke from these fires spreads fine particulate matter into the air that's hazardous to human health, increasing occurrences of asthma and respiratory diseases, especially in children and the elderly. Porter notes that as wildfires increase and air quality worsens, human migratory patterns could be impacted.
In particular, on the West Coast, we're starting to see that it's not necessarily the areas that have wildfire that we're starting to see populations move away from. Instead, what we're starting to see is that people are responding to the smoke. They're really responding to the quality of life associated with the exposure of poor air quality. And in some areas in California, if you start to think about places like Fresno in the Central Valley, I mean, they're on pace to see about 90 poor air quality days a year. We're starting to see out-migration from Seattle, from San Francisco, and from the greater kind of metro areas in those regions towards the Midwest and towards other parts of the country where the air quality exposure is lower.
As long as our planet continues to warm, people around the world may be subjected to health risks. Poppie and Mphuthing, CGTN, Washington.